You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live at 4 on this Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Brady is off today. Sarah Carlson is filling in.
It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, happy Monday.
And fall has arrived.
Fall has arrived. Doesn't it feel gorgeous outside?
It does. You and I are on the same page. We were ready for a little fall weather.
Exactly. Not everybody, but I'm sure we'll get a little bit of everything coming up. We have Jacob Montesano out on the weather patio with a look at our first warned weather forecast. And is it still sprinkling out there?
Yeah, very, very light rain, honestly. It doesn't even really feel like it's raining sometimes, but then you do feel a few drops every once in a while. But I'm with you too. I'm loving this weather, but the cold front still hasn't made it through all of Wisconsin. You could see some warmer temperatures further south and east, especially in the far southeastern portion of Wisconsin, 79 in Kenosha, but that's 68 in Janesville, was 78 about a few hours ago. So noticeably cooler just over the last couple of hours, but obviously a lot of the area is much cooler over the last 24 hours. And taking a look at that temperature change, 20 to 25 degrees cooler for much of the area. And honestly, with the fact that we saw sunshine yesterday versus cloudy skies right now, it almost feels like the temperature change is even greater. Now, as we take a look at the current radar, a few light showers here and there. Like I said, it is kind of sprinkling out here, but most of the time you can barely even tell it's raining. That's how light it is. And this is going to continue throughout the evening. We'll continue to see cloudy skies, a little bit more consistent rain later in the evening and into the overnight hours. Nothing should be too heavy, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but we're certainly not expecting widespread thunderstorm activity, mostly in the form of showers, light to moderate rainfall for the most part. And then this is going to clear out by Tuesday morning, and we're going to see very dry conditions for much of the week with fall-like conditions continuing. I'll talk more about that coming up a bit later.
All right. Thank you, Jacob. In the news now, a teen was taken to the hospital after being shot during what police describe as a large fight in downtown Madison.
Police say the 18-year-old victim was treated and released at a nearby hospital. Our Jalen Banks joins us live this afternoon from Langdon Street with more details from Madison Police. Jalen?
Sarah and Susan, I'm currently on the 200 block of Langdon Street where this weekend's incident took place, that large fight that you guys had described that ended up with one person in the hospital this weekend. Now, this area in particular is not far from campus at all. We're just around the corner from Library Mall, and just behind me is the Pi Kappa Alpha house where some of the members of that incident were involved. Now, in the video that you're able to see on your screen, you see the fight taking place and a person pulling out a firearm and eventually discharging it. Now, I spent much of the day on campus and around campus talking to students about the incident, getting their reaction and how they felt, and many were in shock just because many of them saying like things like this don't really happen at UW or around campus. Also was able to catch up with MPD earlier today with an update on the incident. Here's what they had to say about what happened.
Unit is investigating this, and they're going to be following up with both the witnesses and the victims in this. And they're also sorting through a lot of video and photos that have been produced since then as well.
Now, tonight at 5 and 6, we'll hear from students and getting more of their reaction about how they feel about this weekend's incident and the overall safety on and around campus. But for now, I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio. Reporting live on the 200 block of Langdon Street, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
All right. Thank you so much, Jalen. We also have new details about two people who were injured in a crash near Janesville this morning. It shut down portions of U.S. Highway 14 and Wisconsin 11. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says the injuries are severe but not life-threatening. Deputies say at around 6:45 this morning, a car was going west on Highway 11 when it crossed the center line, entered the oncoming lane, and hit an oncoming SUV. The 22-year-old in the car was extracted from that vehicle, and both drivers were taken to nearby hospitals.
In Dane County, a fire at a Westport home took nearly an hour to put out and drew a multi-agency response. Last night around 7, the fire was reported on Tuscany Lane, which is just a few miles north of Governor Nelson State Park. The county dispatch center was not able to comment on the damage, and it's still unclear what caused the fire.
Well, it is National Fire Prevention Week, and this year's theme is Charge into Safety, lithium-ion batteries in your home. Now, the National Fire Protection Association says that lithium-ion batteries power many things in our homes, but they pose fire risks when they're not used properly. The association offers these 3 steps for protection. First, buy only listed products with safety certification marks like UL, ETL, or CSA. Second, charge devices safely using cords that come with the product and charge on a hard surface. Do not overcharge. And then be sure to unplug or remove the battery when fully charged. Finally, recycle batteries responsibly. Don't throw batteries into the trash or recycling. Take them to a safe recycling location such as Dane County Clean Sweep. Well, nearly 400 animals have been surrendered to law enforcement in Juneau County in what the sheriff there is calling a significant case of animal neglect. Deputies were called to a home in Plymouth Township on Friday after reports of animals on the loose. After getting to the property, deputies arrested 2 people for animal neglect charges. In total, 393 animals were found on that property and voluntarily turned over to authorities. The count included 126 rabbits, 35 goats, 5 horses, 135 chickens, 10 puppies, and 81 dogs. Officials are now working with more than a dozen different animal welfare groups to care for these animals, and you can find that list under this story on channel3000.com.
Well, 10 wins, that is all that stands between the Milwaukee Brewers and winning the World Series.
But first, they have to get by those Cubs. Now, they dominated Game 1 Saturday, 9-3. Tonight, they host Game 2 at American Family Field, and that's where we find our Arman Rahman. Hey, Arman.
Hey there, Brady and Susan. Yes, we are here at AmFam Field. Unfortunately, the summer-like weather seemed to take a little bit of a break to football weather. It's a little cool, cloudy, and rainy over here in the AmFam Field parking lot. But you know what? I think the energy is pretty bright and sunny, because take a look at the Brewers fans already lining up here to tailgate 4 hours ahead of first pitch. So something tells me those Cubs fans are going to have to bring the energy tonight, because these Brewers fans are ready. A big game tonight, because if the Brewers can clinch this in Game 2, it is a really hard-fought way for the Cubs to try to make any type of advancement here. It's the first time the Brewers have made it past the first round, so obviously energy here is up. But there are some concerns. Aaron Ashby is a relieving pitcher who will be starting here in the game tonight. So I talked to some of these Brewer fans here lined up to tailgate about how they're feeling about the odds tonight. Hear what they have to say later on today at 4:30. For now, live from the AmFam Field, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
All right, thank you, Arman. Talk to you in a bit. Next on Live at 4, it is October, and we're looking ahead to a supermoon tonight, how you can see it best.
And haunted houses and pumpkin patches are in full swing. Josh Spreiter is in the 608 with some local hot spots you don't want to miss.
And the heat has moved out, the fall weather moving in with some rain for the first time in a long time.
Plus, the government shutdown drags on. Both Democrats and Republicans don't seem to be budging on tax credits for the Affordable Care Act. Each day the shutdown goes on means more furloughs and workers going unpaid. We'll look at how short or how long the shutdown could last.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
A Sun Prairie family once again has people talking in the 608 with their Halloween display taking over the front yard.
It's such a fun time of year to see how everybody decorates. Our Josh Spreiter found out why this has become an annual tradition.
Back into the depths of the dark.
We came out dark and early this morning to check out this display for yourself, and I'm so excited for you to see it. This is 5 years running for Aaron Voken, and he's joining us here today. Aaron, thanks so much for having us out here.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. Thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate it.
So this is your 5th annual Halloween display here in Sun Prairie, and what is the theme this year?
So this year we have Under the Sea, Creatures of the Deep. We have with pool noodles kind of turned into coral. We have a Jaws from the 50th anniversary for Jaws, a big shark. We have pirate ships and deep sea shark cages and things like that. So it's a lot of fun. Looking forward to people coming out and seeing it.
You know, this has grown so much over the years, and you've kind of turned it into this neighbors helping neighbors thing, helping out the Sun Prairie Food Pantry. People can bring those donations out. You know, what has this mission really been all about for you?
You know, it's such a great tradition of having something where people come out and they share, they give candy, people can dress up in costumes, but then also an opportunity where people can come and see and partake of these activities and then give back to the community.
And I mean, how do you come up with some of these ideas? Let's walk here because, I mean, everything, the whole yard is covered here.
Yeah, I see things on Pinterest and Facebook. I see ideas I'm able to share if there's a family at a beaver dam, and I swap some things with them. I had, Frankensteins and things last year, and so they passed some things off to me, and I kind of redid it, and they redid mine. So that sharing of those ideas is a lot of fun, so people can kind of, creatively use different things and repurpose them. I've got a kraken, a shark. I've got, I'll see things on the side of the road, maybe a box or a barrel laying there, and I'll be like, I could use that for Halloween. That would be great.
And I mean, this is a year-long process for you. You don't just like put this up overnight.
Oh, no. I start in January. In fact, I'm thinking of things for next year, but I start in January, and then I create things for the summer when the weather's nice, and I'll put things out and build them. We're building sharks in the middle of July or something like that. So yeah, I definitely. And then I start setting up sometime in September, and we're pretty much all set up.
You're that guy in the neighborhood, aren't you?
I am.
Well, if people are interested, how can they come out, and when can they come out and check out the display?
So I turn on the lights probably in the evening sometime as we get closer to Halloween. They're on for longer, but we are down the street, and we're in Sun Prairie. Down the street from Walmart or the post office, we're on Silverado. And yeah, so just come check it out. You can see the lights in the sky as you turn down the road. So
you can't miss it.
Absolutely.
Well, Aaron, thank you so much. We appreciate it. If you'd like to learn more about how you can check out this display and how you can help the Sun Prairie Food Pantry, just go to the story up on channel3000.com. In Sun Prairie, Josh Brighter, News 3 Now.
Thank you, guys. Those are decorating goals. And while you go to see the lights, it's also officially fall. And in addition to cooler temperatures, the harvest moon will be visible from tonight into early tomorrow. It's also the first of 3 back-to-back supermoons. A supermoon happens when the moon reaches its nearest point to the Earth, making it look larger and fuller.
Beautiful. Now it's time for a look at your firstborn forecast. We have fall-like temperatures, as we just saw. Is there something about an overnight freeze? Is that possible, Jacob?
Potentially a little bit later in the week, and most of the area will likely stay above that freezing level, but we are going to see some of the coldest temperatures we've seen in quite a while. Now, as we take a look at the 3 things you need to know, we're going to continue to see some light showers through tonight. Those fall-like temperatures are going to continue for the work week before we see 70s return by the time we get to the weekend. Now, before I talk about our forecast, I do have a kind of pretty big deal in the weather community. So back in June, there was a tornado in North Dakota, and the National Weather Service reassessed it and have determined that it was an F5 tornado, which is the first F5 tornado anywhere on Earth since 2013. So this is a pretty significant, like I said, within the weather community, this is something that, we've been talking about, the F5 tornado drought. This is actually the longest time between F5 tornadoes in recorded history. The last one was back in 2013 in Oklahoma. This one officially on June 20th. Now, as we come back to our area, not going to worry about any tornadoes right now, whereas we're seeing just a few light showers. We're going to continue to see these light showers across the area for the next couple of hours. And as we get into the overnight hours, we'll see a little bit more consistent rainfall, especially for Madison and areas to the south and areas to the east. Now, once we get towards Tuesday morning, that's going to clear out very quickly once we get closer to sunrise. And then by the time we get to the afternoon, we're going to see very sunny skies with very dry weather really for the rest of the week. And despite the sunny skies, we're still going to see the temperatures fall like middle 60s will be in the forecast. And as we get towards the end of the week, we will start to see the temperatures warm up, but 60s are going to be in the forecast through Friday. 70s over the weekend, so obviously a bit warmer, but for reference, it was just in the 80s this past weekend, so these 70s will be cooler compared to that, but still going to stay above normal for the most part. Now, the conditions the next couple of days very close to normal, but those 70s will be above that, and then we will drop a little bit into the upper 60s by the middle of next week, but that average high is continuing to fall, and pretty soon that average will be in the upper 50s. Now, that's still a few weeks away, but we are going to see the 70s return, so not very seasonable once we get to that point. Now, I do want to talk about the football games going on this weekend. First, the Badger football game, 6 p.m. Saturday against Iowa. Looking pretty good. Those warmer daytime temperatures will help it be not as chilly during the evening time. It will get a little chilly towards the end of the game, but we're expecting clear skies during this time period. And for Green Bay on Sunday, game's at 3:25. Also going to see clear skies with temperatures in the lower 70s to upper 60s during the game for Green Bay. So two very good football games weather-wise are expected this weekend here in Wisconsin. Now, once we get to next week, we are going to see kind of that rain return. Some isolated thunderstorms are possible Monday with a few more showers once we get towards the middle of next week, but we aren't expecting that much rain until that point. So fall-like the next couple of days. Still, not as warm as last week once we get to the weekend, but a bit warmer the next couple of days before those temperatures kind of steady out towards the end of the 10-day forecast.
All right, thank you so much. Now coming up on Live at 4, some are starting their holiday shopping early. What experts are saying about this shopping season.
And a freak snowstorm led to 200 hikers needing to be rescued on Mount Everest. We'll hear about the major rescue efforts that are still ongoing this afternoon.
News 3 Now, live at 4.
Well, the numbers on Wall Street today, the Dow is down 63 points, NASDAQ is up 161, and the S&P 500 nearly 25 up.
Rescuers are racing to reach more than 200 hikers who are stranded on Mount Everest after a freak October snowstorm. Teams with horses and oxen have been trekking their way through the deep snow, trying to reach a tourist camp on the east slope of Everest, nearly 16,000 feet up. The blizzard hit suddenly, crushing tents, wow, look at that shot, and cutting off communication. Conditions had looked ideal for trekking. The climbers headed out in what was considered to be a very stable stretch of the season.
This is the time when monsoon should have completely withdrawn, and then you expect clear skies, visitors going up, mountaineers even going up.
Many of the hikers are from China, and Chinese state media says some of them have now been rescued, but hundreds more are believed to still be stranded and are now at risk for hypothermia.
Well, it is now day 6 of the government shutdown, and the Senate, which took the weekend off, is coming back to Washington for votes late this afternoon.
Some furloughed federal workers will miss out on their first paycheck this week, and now they face the threat of possible layoffs as well. Erica Brown has the latest from Capitol Hill.
The Senate reconvened Monday afternoon to vote once again on Republican and Democratic measures to reopen the government. But both proposals have failed to advance multiple times.
If the Democrats do not vote to open the government tonight, federal workers will not receive their next full paycheck.
Democrats are holding out for extending Affordable Care Act tax credits expiring this year and rollbacks to Medicaid cuts. But Republicans insist the shutdown needs to end first by passing a short-term spending bill.
The only reason the government is shut down is because Democrats refuse to accept a clean, nonpartisan funding extension.
Senate Democrats returned to Washington ready to negotiate. We're ready to work with Republicans to reopen the government.
Speaker Mike Johnson canceled plans for the House to return to Washington this week in an effort to put pressure on the Senate to pass a spending bill. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers remain furloughed during the shutdown, with some essential employees like military personnel and air traffic controllers working without pay. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warned air service to some communities could be impacted.
That money runs out this Sunday. So there's many small communities across the country that will now no longer have the resources to make sure they have air service in their community.
A new CBS News poll shows 39% of Americans blame President Trump and congressional Republicans for the shutdown. 30% blame Democrats and 31% blame both equally. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The CBS News poll also shows President Trump's approval rating dropped 2 percentage points among those surveyed to 42%, down from 44% in September.
Climate campaigner Greta Thunberg has been deported from Israel after she and some 450 activists were arrested last week. They were arrested aboard a flotilla, which is a coalition of more than 40 humanitarian aid vessels carrying food, water, and medicine toward Gaza. The flotilla, which set sail in August, was the latest attempt by activists to break the Israeli blockade of the Palestinian territory by sea. Many of the detained activists remain in prison in Israel. So far, Israeli authorities have deported at least 170 of the detained activists.
Well, Christmas, yeah, you heard me right, Christmas is 2.5 months away, and retailers are already pushing holiday shopping. Target, Kohl's, Best Buy, Amazon, and Walmart all have October sales this week. Now, NerdWallet says good deals include outdoor grills, summer gear, and Halloween items, but they advise to wait until Cyber Monday for things like electronics, and don't buy those clothes until after Christmas.
Holiday shoppers, they are going earlier and earlier.
Why?
Retail Me Not has a survey about a third of shoppers already started last month. And the reason is of all this uncertainty we've been talking about, Gail, right? People are thinking about the government shutdown, tariffs, inflation, and they're worried their dollar isn't going to go as far. And retailers are recognizing this.
So Adobe Analytics says discounts this holiday season will range from 18% off furniture to 28% off of electronics. But before you go crazy on them shopping there, tips include setting price alerts, keeping tabs on cashback apps and coupons, and also make a budget and try to stick with it.
Yeah, try is the word. Coming up on Live at 4, the Brewers and the Cubs are facing off again tonight as the Brewers continue their charge to the World Series.
And a proposal is being made to make all hemp-based THC products available to only those 21 and older. We'll tell you what's in the proposal and why it was not already law.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Welcome back to Live at 4, everybody. Sarah is here today, filling in for Brady. Loving this weather.
Loving this weather. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. Let's take a live look out there. This is what I love, right? Near Lake Wingra today. I believe that's what it is. The weather words, fall weather has arrived. I just hope we can keep it here.
And a little bit of rain, too, which is also some good news. Jacob Montesano is out on the patio. Is it sprinkling here on the west side?
Yeah, we are seeing a little bit of rain right now. Actually, a tiny bit heavier than what it was about 30 minutes ago, but still very, very light. I don't even need the umbrella. But as we take a look at the temperatures, significantly cooler than this time yesterday. Now, areas further to the south and east did see highs easily in the 70s. Monroe, Janesville, also Milwaukee, but a lot of those areas now in the 60s as that cold front has moved through. Madison has been in the 60s all day with 50s for areas to the north and west. Now, obviously, big change from yesterday, up near 25 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. So noticeably different, and these temperatures, they're going to stick around for quite a bit. Now, as we take a look at the current radar, just seeing a few light showers across the region, not seeing much, and this is going to continue throughout the overnight hours as we'll continue to see just some on and off very light showers this evening. Temperatures dropping into the 50s. They're going to continue to fall as we head into the overnight hours, but once we get closer to Tuesday morning, that rain will clear out. Lows will drop into the lower 50s to upper 40s, a lot cooler further off to the north. Now, we are going to see some pretty chilly overnight lows over the next couple of days, so I'm going to talk more about that coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Right now in Madison, there is no age limit on products that you can buy that get you high, but a city ordinance is looking to change that.
That's right. Ellie LaLiberte joins us now. And Ellie, how exactly would this work?
Well, Susan, Sarah, just like tobacco or alcohol, this would ensure that a customer must be 21 years old to buy hemp-based THC products. Now, marijuana is illegal in Wisconsin, but hemp, which is a part of the same plant family, and some products made from it can have psychoactive effects. Madison Alder and Council President Regina Vitiver is proposing this ordinance at tomorrow's Common Council meeting. It updates the age restriction and requires businesses selling these products to be at least a quarter mile from youth-serving organizations. That's like schools or the YMCA. Now, both of these only impact sales, not possession.
Right now, THC products are a little bit of the Wild West. There is no regulation over them. The state legislature has started a process. We don't know how long that'll take. We don't know how divisive that will be. But in the meantime, a lot of municipalities around the state are taking action to try to protect our citizens from these products that are totally unregulated at this point.
Brooke Bartels, who owns Madison Extracts, which is 2 dispensaries and a lab, says this regulation could actually move his industry forward.
We're always for regulation. This is what we want in the state. We believe that regulating instead of banning is the ultimate answer to having quality products and defeating the black market goods.
Now, the proposed ordinance will go to 2 different committees before it heads back to the Common Council on November 25th. And tonight at 5, you can hear what part of the ordinance Bartels thinks is too restrictive.
We will see you at 5, Ellie. Thank you. A 44-year-old man is facing armed robbery charges for allegedly trying to rob a business and steal from another one on Madison's Near East Side. Police say they responded to Washington Avenue near Johnson Street on Friday. An employee at a business says a man who had been previously banned from the store was chased away after unsuccessfully trying to rob them. Police say he went on to a nearby business and stole money there. Officers found him and arrested him, and the man now faces a probation violation.
Well, 6 days into Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and another $4,500 has been raised for Research for a Cure. This was through Bergstrom Automotive's Drive for a Cure event. A spokesperson says that the fundraiser in Appleton, Green Bay, and Madison raised $37,600 from guest test drives and over $7,500 from social media initiatives and donations. The fundraiser donated $1 to breast cancer research for every test drive mile started. Now, Drive for a Cure has raised $700,000 for breast cancer research, and proceeds are all donated to the Medical College of Wisconsin and the Carbone Cancer Center.
Well, Saturday, the Brewers looked the part of the best team in baseball.
They scored 9 runs in the first 2 innings to take Game 1 9-3. Arman Rahman joins us now live from American Family Field tonight to set the stage for Game 2. Hi, Arman.
Sarah, Susan, if the Brew Crew needs to sign any base runners, they should look at their fans, because moments ago, they were out here in the line for the parking and, just hanging out inside their cars, enjoying a couple of beverages. And then as soon as they saw that the parking lot opened up for tailgaters, they all went, and they ran into their cars really wicked fast and got inside. So they already, that line that you saw here earlier, cleared out. They are over there setting up their grills and setting up their tailgates for the game tonight at 8 o'clock. And, in Game 1, the Brew Crew really credited the fans for a lot of their performance, for making that magic happen here in Milwaukee. So how did the fans make sure that they are amped up and ready? I talked to one family and asked them about their tailgating essentials.
The bags, of course, cornhole, whatever you call it, but otherwise brats, burgers, the whole thing. So yeah, we love the tailgate, love to cook out, take in the atmosphere, like I said, and hopefully send those Cub fan home unhappy.
So you know what? We're going to get inside there right now and hopefully snag a couple of brats, because I'm getting a little hungry here as we got to hunker down for that Game 2 that is first pitch starting at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to send it back to you guys, Sarah and Susan, in the studio.
All right, thanks so much, Arman. Looks like fun.
It does.
Great shot. All right. Well, as you mentioned, the Cubs play the Brewers tonight, 8:08, and you can watch that on TBS or HBO Max. And next on Live at 4, if you're a fan of Taylor Swift, her new movie is hitting the big screens.
Our film critic Will Loper tells us about Taylor Swift's life of a showgirl and other movies making their way to the box office in the Loper Report.
It's almost been a good month for Taylor Swift.
You think?
She's had a #1 album and a #1 movie in the same weekend.
How about it? Her Life of a Showgirl movie beat out 2 other big stars. Film critic Will Loper has more on the weekend box office.
Taylor Swift proves once again she's box office gold with the release party of her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, in theaters. The release provided an exclusive look at her newest music video, The Fate of Ophelia, as well as behind-the-scenes footage and lyric videos for the other 11 tracks on the album. The release made $33 million in theaters to end in first. Also new in theaters and disappointing in third place, with the worst opening of Dwayne Johnson's career with only $6 million, is the film The Smashing Machine.
A day without pain is like a day without sunshine.
The film tells the real-life story of mixed martial artist Mark Kerr, portrayed by a nearly unrecognizable Johnson in prosthetics.
Winning is the best feeling there is. It's 40,000 people, and they're cheering you on. There's no other high like it in the world.
We see Mark in the ring as an unbeatable force, and his struggles with opioid addiction and a tumultuous relationship with his girlfriend Dawn, played by Emily Blunt.
When he's distant, it's hard.
I'm sacrificing everything. What do you have for me that's strong?
The fights are brutal, and Dwayne Johnson gives a dramatic performance that's among the best of his career.
I just need you to let me in. Now take a look at me.
The middle of the film feels a bit aimless. This is not the next Raging Bull, but strong directing and acting make The Smashing Machine well worth seeing in theaters.
Ready? I think so.
For Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
Marquito is back.
That looks like a good one.
Wow, they both do. All right, coming up on Live at 4, Packers quarterback Jordan Love is connecting with some Wisconsin high school football players. How a pair of new cleats is changing lives after this. All right, we're taking a live look. This is Huber's Orchard and Winery in Borden, Indiana. Looks like they're getting similar weather, a little rainy, high near 70, so have you been to or plan to go to any pumpkin patches? You already did this.
I did this weekend.
I know, we were just talking about this before we came out on camera. I'm jealous. I have to get going on those mums and pumpkins.
Well, the sun comes back out tomorrow, so the rest of the week will look good.
It's on my list. Well, after seeing him out on the field in green and gold, it's easy to forget that an NFL player like Jordan Love was once a high school player.
Our senior Packers writer Jason Wilde talks to Love about how he's connecting with high school players and changing lives with a pair of cleats.
2-3 comes flying in and made a great play. So, it's better than some of the NFL talent I see on Sunday. So it was a great play by him. Talked to him after, told him, never do it again. But it was a great play by him.
Not only did the Trojans get new Nike football cleats, but every time Love either throws a touchdown pass or runs for a score this season, a youth team or high school team in Wisconsin and another in California will get new cleats for their entire team. For Love, the recollection of having teammates when he was growing up in Bakersfield, California, who couldn't afford new cleats, was the inspiration behind the project.
The reason behind it is, growing up, a big part of my life is sports and growing up and just the bonds and the relationships, the lessons I learned being on sports teams. And I remember just growing up and there'd be kids that, wouldn't be able to, whether their parents would be able to afford cleats or they just didn't have the opportunities where they're wearing hand-me-down cleats from brother, from sister, cousins that just, it's less than ideal circumstances. So I think to be able to give back and put every kid in a brand new pair of cleats going into their season, whatever that is, football, basketball, baseball, I think it's pretty cool. So I think it's just a small thing that can help keep kids in sports and just give them another reason to stick with it and keep going.
Last season, Love threw 25 touchdown passes and ran for one more. Through 4 games this season, he's thrown 8 touchdown passes, putting him on pace for 34 touchdowns on the season. Although, unlike Mars Blackman, who once famously said in his Air Jordan commercial with number 23, it's got to be the shoes, that's not the case for Love.
I think that's the coolest part is just being able to relate these kids and give them hope and just show them that, I was once a high school player just like them, going to school, doing the same things that they're doing. And if they just keep on the path and keep trying to be great at what they do and excel at it, that they can have that opportunity to make it to the highest level.
And no one knows that better than Martinez.
He's someone to look up to, and I'm so grateful for him to be here. And I'm grateful for my whole team. And Southwest, let's go Southwest.
Applications are open now for any K-12 team in need of cleats. You can apply at handsoflove.org with the L and the O in Love being the 1 and the 0 of Love's jersey number. In Green Bay, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
And you can watch the Packers game this Sunday right here on CBS at 3:25. The 2-1-1 Packers take on the 2-3 Bengals at Lambeau Field.
Tonight is the Brewers game against the Cubs at AmFam Field in Milwaukee. There's a little bit of rain out there this afternoon. Do you think if you're heading to Milwaukee, it'll be a factor, Jacob?
Well, there will be some light rain on the way there, but obviously if it is rain at the game, they will probably close the roof. But overall, the rain is not going to be too heavy, but some showers are going to continue through tonight, and the seasonable temperatures will continue as well until the weekend, where we are going to warm back up a little bit. Not to the level that we were last weekend, but still going to see highs in the 70s. So looking at the temperatures over the next couple of days and nights, tonight we're going to see lows dropping into the 40s to lower 50s, and then rise back into the 60s. Very close to normal for this time of the year, both in terms of the low and high. Now, as we get to Tuesday night, this is where things really start to cool down. We're going to see lows dropping into the 30s, possibly to the freezing level for central Wisconsin. But even southern Wisconsin will likely see some patchy frost, as you don't necessarily need the temperatures to get to freezing to see some frost. Now, for Wednesday afternoon, temperatures are going to be even cooler, just by a little bit compared to Tuesday. But then we're going to see another very cold night Wednesday night as those temperatures drop back into the 30s once again. Now, it looks like we're not going to be quite as cool for the rest of the week, but Tuesday and Wednesday night, prepare for some patchy frost out there. Still seeing some of these light showers for parts of the region. Again, most of the rain is pretty light. And as we head into the overnight hours, although a little bit more consistent rain is in the forecast, still not going to be too heavy, maybe some pockets of heavy rain. And for tonight, the best chance of rain will be for Madison and areas to the south and areas to the east. But all that's going to clear up once we get to the afternoon Tuesday, with very dry conditions for the rest of the week. Not expecting to see much in terms of rainfall until potentially Thursday or Friday, but even then the rain should be pretty light. Now, as we take a look at the full 10-day forecast, we're going to continue to see fall-like temperatures for the next couple of days. 70s are then in the forecast for the weekend. Very nice weekend as a whole. Both the Badgers game and the Packers game will be very good weather-wise, and then we could see some rain towards next week. We'll be right back.
Well, we have wrapped up our Coats for Kids collection drive, and here is the total. So close to 5,000. We almost did it. 4,625 coats, and that new total includes 246 coats that were donated through our Amazon wish list. Thank you, everybody. And 240 donated by Colony Brands.
And now it's time to give them away. On Friday, the 24th, from 4 to 6 p.m., we will be at the Allied Family Center. Alliant, I don't know what that is. Erica
Allied.
and Anthony.
I was right. Allied, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, Allied. Erica and Anthony Fleming Boys and Girls Club and the Mackenzie Family Boys and Girls Club. For more info and all the details here, you can go to channel3000.com/coats4kids. And finally tonight, Starbucks is teaming up with Hello Kitty. Oh, my daughter's going to love this. Starting November 6th, Starbucks coffee houses across the country and Canada will be featuring Hello Kitty merchandise. That includes plush toys, coffee mugs, and tumblers. They're also giving a sneak peek at its menu for the holiday season. Everyone's talking about the holidays already, my gosh. They will offer peppermint mocha, caramel brulee latte, iced sugar cookie latte, and iced gingerbread chai. The new menu will also be available beginning November 6th.
Yes, please. They all sound great. So if you're heading to tailgating, you might need to pack an umbrella this afternoon, right?
Yeah, maybe an umbrella and definitely a jacket, as temperatures have been in the 60s now across the area. Now, they were in the 70s earlier in Milwaukee, but they have dropped now.
Good luck to you two Cubs fans. We'll be right back.
Hey, tomorrow on Live at 4, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We have a guest on to talk about male breast cancer and how common it is, also some determining factors what those could be. Also later on News 3 Now at 5 tonight, we're learning more about a shooting at a fraternity on Langdon Street in downtown Madison. Jalen Banks tells us the full story. Thanks so much for joining us on Live at 4. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow, and you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.